What's up, you guys? This is the Northerly Gaston, Digital here, the one and only You Don't Know Me But You Will. Because this month is Mental Health Awareness Month, I wanted to go ahead and make this as my second video in regards to mental health awareness. Now, before I begin this video, I just want you to know that for this video, it has absolutely nothing, I have absolutely nothing positively against anyone with mental health, especially since I go through it as well. Some of y'all may remember this photo shoot that you see here from August 10th of last year. And you may be wondering to yourself, how come you don't see those images anymore? Now I'm going to finally talk about it because this person put me on blast. So now I'm putting this person on blast, except for me. I'm not mentioning any names. I'm not going to go into graphic or explicit details or whatever. So let's begin. I first met this person back on May of 2017 when I did a photo shoot of her ex-boyfriend, who is also a trans man. Those images of her ex-boyfriend have been scrubbed completely clean off the internet due to the fact that he never paid me. He was supposed to pay me, but then he started, giving excuses and wanted to book me for other events that he had. But I rejected him because I'm like, how are you going to do all of this when you haven't even paid me? It doesn't make any sense. Now, while he's involved in the music entertainment business, she was involved in the adult entertainment business. So months later, they did break up, and I remember something that he told me, which didn't register in my noetic at the time, but he said, be careful around her. So when he said that, it didn't register, but as years went by, especially by 2021, it finally did, and his word was bond. After the breakup, the friendship of me and her started to blossom, and we started talking about our very first photo shoot that eventually took place in December of 2018. Since she was still involved in porn at the time, it was an erotic style nude photo shoot. Not only it was the fourth erotic style photo shoot I ever did, but it was also the first and only one by far of a trans person, trans female. Hers was more explicit than the other three in regards of erotic. And as far as erotic nudity is concerned, it does not represent my brand, because my brand, I don't mind shooting nudity within my brand, but it can't be explicit or erotic. If it is explicit or erotic, then I go under an alias. And to this day, those images, I used to post those images up, but then I removed those images after we had our first fallout in 2019. My phone service at the time, I was not able to get voicemails properly. So I just had to tell her that I can't receive, that I'm not getting the voicemails because of my service. And I had to download some type of app just to listen to the voicemails. No other service I had in the past never had that. So our friendship did come back again. Then we fast forward to 2021. She contacted me about booking me. And this time I love this because this is the first time a model who I worked with, because she does have modeling experience, now wants to book me for my services instead of doing TFP or having someone to pay her. So I gave her my price, but she negotiated a budget. She said at the time she was struggling and everything. So at the time, my everyday people rate was $350, which I now raised it up this year. She only paid $100 because she only brought 2 of her 3 outfits. So okay, I went ahead and accepted. She paid $100 with tax. And the photo shoot happened on August 10th. Unfortunately, during that photo shoot, there was some there was some internal drama that happened between me and her within that photo shoot, which I will confess that unlike the Catfish scandal, which was not a fault of my own, this drama that happened between me and her in that photo shoot was a fault of my own, which I take full accountability for. She didn't bring it up again until October. And this time around, she never told me this. She said that not only she told her friends about it, but she also told a lawyer about it as well. Because she was talking about pressing a lawsuit on me and all this. And I'm like, wow, that surprised me. So she said, out of settlement, instead of us going to court, I want you to do me something. I want you to give me access to all of the unedited images so I can choose whatever images I want. Now, when it comes to us professional photographers, a lot of us photographers, especially those who've been doing it for years, we don't ever give out unedited images to clients. And that's still a principle that I deal with to this day. But I said to myself, you know what? In order for me to get out of this jam that she's trying to spread on this bread, I decided to go ahead and give her, the unedited images. But then she wanted to add in something else, which came rather silly. She wanted the images to be featured in magazines, prints, television shows, billboards, video games, comic books, you name it. I'm like, wow. I'm like, why would you want to do all of that why would you want to do all of that and you want me to do it? Ever since I became an LLC, if someone wants to feature my work in magazines or whatever, they can, as long as they get my permission. I don't ever self-do it anymore. That's how I am. We settled that out. Then we fast forward to late October. She did something very unthinkable, which we never spoke about during that conversation in early October. She unofficially announced in the second post from our photo shoot that she was going to partner with me, which we never spoke about. After she said that, she sent me this very long-winded vanishing DM on IG in which she was threatening a lawsuit on me. And she said that if you don't accept the partnership, if you don't let me add you as a partner in some of my future posts, then I'm going to sue you. I'm going to take you to court. There's not going to be any more digital. You're going to be out of money. You're going to start working for me and all this. And she's making all of these threats. And I remember during the earlier conversation, she said that she's tired of, throwing lawsuits at people. She's tired of filing police reports against people, which shows that she is very sensitive and she loves doing all that kind of stuff. And in my mind, I'm like, you know what? This is getting really silly now. This is getting really silly. So I accepted her adding me as a partner on 5 of her posts. Only one of the posts I agreed with because it featured my work. But then the other stuff, it did not feature my work. Like, I remember a post that she added me on in which she was crying. And then eventually in the post, she started, talking a bunch of, it was an IG Live post of her crying at the beginning. She's talking a whole bunch of nonsense that don't make any sense. So why should I add that to my profile? And then she added me to a meme that she made of herself. Why are you adding me in that? After that, I'm like, you know what? The damage has already been done. And I'm just starting to get really tired of this person. Then we had our final conversation, our final phone conversation on early November of last year. This phone conversation, while it was okay, she eventually got really silly again. This time she's compared herself to Dragon Ball Z. She's comparing me to Debo from Friday. She's compared herself to Wednesday Addams from the Addams Family. She's compared herself to all of this. But the one part that I had a big issue with during that conversation, why are you asking me why I still live at home? Why are you asking me why I still don't own a car? Why are you asking me why I still work a 9 to 5 but also still have a business at the same time? Why are you asking me a whole bunch of unnecessary things within the conversation when you're not getting to the principle of this partnership that you're talking about? And then she brought up my ex-deceased friend, Becca Prince. Becca Prince was an alternative tattoo model and a hairstylist based in California who unfortunately took her own life in last July. What she messed up during that situation, took her out of conjecture, was when she said that I didn't call her before she passed. First and foremost, if you read the caption perfectly, she blocked me in late May, 2 months before she took her own life, because I brought up the Catfish scandal towards her because I was at this process of already healing from that situation. And despite the situation was a very sensitive subject, at first she said that she was okay to listen to it, but I didn't know, had no idea that secretly she did find it sensitive, and eventually she blocked me afterwards when the conversation was becoming really good. My condolences still go out to everyone who loved Becca Prince, including myself, even though me and her were never close. If we were close, I would have, had the chance to, stop her from doing what she did, because I'll be honest with you, from my experience, I've saved 2 friends from taking their own lives. I really have. Phone calls towards them, even texting them and whatnot. So by the end of that phone conversation, she told me that she was going to send me a non-disclosure agreement between me and her, and that it will also be like a partnership for a few years between me and her to still become as a settlement for the situation happening between us. After that phone conversation, here I am waiting for a letter. Never received one. So I'm like, you know what? At first, I don't even want to partner with her due to the fact that she has a reputation of putting so many people on blast, so many businesses on blast, filming and recording everything from her IG lives and putting the archives of the videos on her page, openly mentioning names, plus also possibly recording sensitive information while speaking with banks, phone companies and everything, even recording herself making full phone calls. That's just too much information. Like, at this time, the only person who you are entertaining is yourself. And she has a history of doing that even way back in 2017 when we first became Facebook friends, reading some of her Facebook posts, mentioning this name, that name. Now, a few of them I do agree with because I do agree with her putting them on blast because they were being transphobic towards her. But some of these people, they were not in the wrong. You were in the wrong. And also by this time I was tired of her because she also cheated me out of my money. And let me tell you how I found out. I can tell that she stacked up a lot of money from her days doing adult entertainment. And you know that you can make a lot of money from doing adult entertainment. She did porn, she did escorting, she striptease. The fact that she was spending so much money in buying up so many cars for her car business, because she has a car business. But at the same time, from the videos that I saw, she's contacting these car dealerships trying to get a budget negotiation, just like how she did with me, which is how she's able to do that. Oh, and one more thing, the photo shoot. She was only supposed to bring 2 of her 3 outfits, because the third outfit did not come in. Guess what? Her third outfit, she brought it. And I'm like, okay, now I know what she's trying to do here. So now this really started to bother me. Now we fast forward to December. This post that you see right here from my IG story, at the caption that I posted, it was a subliminal message towards her that said, also never put anyone on blast, especially if you're a business person. Now, she hasn't seen my stories in a while, but when I posted that story and when I looked at the people who were looking at my stories, she popped up. And I wasn't surprised about it, but I was surprised about it. But at the same time, I wasn't surprised about it because I want her to see that and have an understanding. So I guess that pissed her off so bad. She sent me a DM that said, call me, what the F is going on? Now, before I posted that story, days after that final phone conversation from November, I said, you know what? Our friendship is over. I don't want nothing to do with this person anymore. So I just went ahead and just, unfollowed her. But I also restricted her from communicating with me. You know how you have the restrict mode on Instagram? That's what I did. So when she sent me that message that called me, what the F is going on, it went directly to the message request. So that's how she could tell that I wasn't able to actually open it. And I guess because she got pissed off, days after she sent that, and because I never responded back, and because she didn't keep her promise this time to not put me on blast, she eventually did put me on blast in an 85-minute IG live video. And the title said, don't do business with me. But then she retitled it, run from me. However, the way that you act and the way that people see you, they should run from you. The video itself is an 85-minute video. Yes, you heard me, 85 minutes. But I only gave the video 1 minute and a half second of my time. The first part, which I scrolled through, she was mentioning a new car that she got. And then the next part that I scrolled, I don't know how many minutes, I can't remember, she was at a nail salon. And then the third and last part, which I scrolled through before I turned the video off, she was getting dressed and ready with a friend to go out somewhere, wherever she was going. It was just nothing but a bunch of clickbait, unnecessary material. I can tell that the mention my name is on there, but I'm not going to give it any attention, and I'm not going to give the video link or whatever, because she doesn't deserve any attention. As a matter of fact, at the end of the day, I said to myself, you know what? I'd rather be put on blast by somebody who is not getting any attention from nobody but herself than to be thrown in somebody's court and being thrown with legal action. You may have a couple of your followers, seeing it, but then they're eventually going to forget and move on with their lives. And that's how it is. So after I saw that video and a few more, which did not mention me, I just went ahead and just blocked her. I blocked her, including all her other accounts. I also blocked her on every other social media account I found her on, even when we were friends on Facebook. And even though we were never connected on Twitter, I blocked her on that. And I blocked her on WhatsApp. And speaking of WhatsApp, before the block, I remember days before she dropped that video, in which I don't know how she found me. She unsolicitedly added me to a group chat, which I eventually removed myself from. Because why are you doing all of this? Even though I consider blocking as a form of cowardism, but I had to do it because due to all of the threats that this person was doing towards me, and the fact that I just wanted to move on, and all those threats that she was making, it did affect my mental health, because I was like, you know what? This person is so crazy. She just wants to try to not only destroy she's trying to destroy my reputation, trying to damage my career, and make me feel, mentally unstable, like how I am trying to do, especially since I was still in the process of recovering from the Catfish scandal. After I did all that, I was like, you know what? I'm finally free. And at the same time, I just don't want this person talking to me anymore. I don't want nothing to do with this person anymore. I just need this person to move on with her life, wish her nothing but the best. I'm still apologetic for my behavior from that photo shoot, and that's it. As I said before, this is not an attack. This person does suffer from multiple mental health issues, and she's been very open about it. And as I said before, I have nothing against anybody with mental illness, as it is Mental Health Awareness Month. We all have to, show love to the people who do have mental health and make sure that they are okay. But also at times, we just have to let certain people go so we can be able to move on mentally, especially when it comes to us trying to heal from what we did to them or what they did to us. That's all I want to say. Thank you guys for watching. Like the video, subscribe, feel free to comment, and that's it. Take care. So como se llama?